Coming up on The Cut.
The aftermath of the Myanmar earthquake continues to worsen.
The second measles death in years has just been recorded.
And thousands across the country speak out against the U.S. trade war.
All this and more coming up on The Cut.
The Cut starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Cut Network. I'm Tyler Abrams.
And I'm Abby Jurek.
On the ground in Gaza, Israeli forces have begun seizing strips of land in an effort to divide territory into buffer zones, restricting freedom of movement throughout the strip. Since hostilities renewed on March 19th following the breakdown of hostage negotiations, Israel has stated that by seizing the territory, it is putting pressure on Hamas to reopen negotiations and release the remaining hostages. In a video stream on Wednesday, Prime Minister Netanyahu said, quote, "We are now dividing the strip and increasing the pressure step by step so that they will give us our hostages, and as long as they do not give them to us, the pressure will increase until they do," end quote. Although Israeli troops have yet to increase their military presence, reports show that the Gaza Strip has been under an intense bombing campaign. Last Friday, at least 86 people were killed in blast in the span of 24 hours, according to the territory's health ministry. Although Israel's new military operations are meant to bring Hamas back to the negotiations, there have yet to have any form of agreement to come to fruition.
After Trump's tariffs, trade wars across the globe are born as free trade becomes a thing of the past. President Trump's, quote, Liberation Day, which included his announcement of a multitude of tariffs be placed on the trading partners of the U.S., has received expected backlash from the countries impacted. The United States has been pulled out of the global economy and retired its place of being the heart of world commerce due to the tariffs. Because of the abrupt changes to the global economy, countries are preparing for a trade war. Some economists say the rise of free trade may not be harmed, as its benefits are so loved by the rest of the world. Countries may be able to continue freely trading with each other even without free trade's central player. Others worry about a trade war turning into something more. With an already rocky relationship between the U.S. and China, a trade war would only make the relations more combustible. Both sides of the aisle agree that America is becoming less and less of a welcoming market for global trading partners, suggesting that many countries are expected to cut deals with Mr. Trump. Last week, Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he would do just that. China announced Friday that it may band together with its neighbors Japan and South Korea to fight back the tariffs.
Deaths from the Myanmar earthquake are still on the rise. Cut reporter Breda Burkhalter has more with the story. Brela?
Thank you, Tyler. The death toll continues to rise preceding the massive earthquake that struck Myanmar March 28th. The 7.7 magnitude quake disrupted 6 regions at 1:10 p.m. that Friday, and tremors were felt in areas of China and Thailand. This was the biggest earthquake seen in Myanmar in a century. As of Sunday, the death toll reached 3,564, with 5,012 others injured and 210 missing. The number of victims continues to rise as officials search the affected areas, and those who were hospitalized are being treated. To make matters worse, thunderstorms are expected the week of April 6, with heavy rain and windy conditions. Cultural and holy sites were destroyed in the quake and during the storms that came days later. With its dismantled military and lack of funds, the country may not be able to recover. A local Unuyo said, quote, "It's like the earthquake destroyed the lives of people in my city," end quote. People had already been struggling to survive, and the earthquake only made it worse. The people of Myanmar continue to grieve, remain hopeful that more people will be found, and start the recovery process. Various organizations and programs encourage those who are willing and able to donate what they can to help support the country during this time. Officials continue to search for lost people and do what they can to restore the country to its previous state. For The Cut Network, I'm Brela Burkhalter.
Thank you, Brela. We will keep you updated as more information unfolds. The second confirmed measles death in the United States in over a decade happened last Thursday in Lubbock, Texas. The cause of the death was measles pulmonary failure. She was unvaccinated and had no underlying health conditions. The 8-year-old girl's family held funeral services, and Robert Kennedy Jr. was in attendance and briefly spoke to the family. However, her death has drawn attention to the health department's handling of the measles outbreak under Robert Kennedy Jr., as the number of confirmed cases has risen to 607, according to the CDC. Critics have pointed to Kennedy Jr.'s staunch anti-vaccination approach to health and his recommendation of untested measles treatments like cod liver oil as detrimental to the medical professionals' efforts to get measles patients effective treatment. According to the New York Times, if the outbreak continues to spread at the same rate, the United States could also risk losing its measles elimination status. However, public health officials in West Texas have estimated that the outbreak could persist for nearly a year.
A bus crash in Arizona has left many students injured. Cut reporter Izzy Lello has the story. Izzy?
Thank you, Abby. A terrifying afternoon for students and parents in Buckeye after a school bus carrying young children was involved in a serious crash with a pickup truck, sending multiple people to the hospital and prompting a full investigation by local authorities. The crash happened on April 4th. The collision happened near the intersection of Rainbow Road and Sundance Parkway, just after school dismissal on Thursday, April 4th. Authorities say the bus was transporting students from the Buckeye Learning Center when it collided with a pickup truck. 8 students were checked for injuries on the scene. 3 were transported to the hospital as a precaution, along with the bus driver. The 2 individuals in the pickup truck were also treated by paramedics. Police have not yet released the cause of the crash, but they have confirmed that all families have been notified and school officials are working with investigators. The crash temporarily shut down part of the roadway, causing delays during peak traffic hours. Officers directed vehicles to nearby alternate routes to ease congestion. Tonight, the Buckeye community is breathing a sigh of relief that no life-threatening injuries were reported. But this crash serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of road safety, especially when children are involved. Investigators say it could be days before they determine exactly what led to this collision. For the Cut Network, I'm Izzy Ledlow reporting.
Thank you, Izzy. That is sad to hear. We hope everyone makes a full recovery. Last weekend, quote, hands-off demonstrations took place at more than 1,000 locations in all 50 states, including Arizona's capital. Protesters rallied in opposition to the way President Trump is running the country. The city of Phoenix saw hundreds of people making their voices known and pushing for change on Saturday morning. Attendees expressed their concern especially with Social Security, immigration, and federal employment. Others joined the rally on the other side of that message. A group of people came to the Capitol in support of Mr. Trump and Elon Musk's decision for the Department of Government Efficiency's federal spending cuts. Both parties remained peaceful in their protesting, but unrestful tensions were very much present. Across the country, more than 150 groups participated in the hands-off protests, including labor unions, civil rights organizations, LGBTQ+ advocates, election activists, and veterans. As protesters held up signs that said, quote, fight the oligarchy, many rally attendees came out and said they had voted for Trump in the past, but are now outwardly saying they are turned off by Trump's recent decisions.
Watch out, California. Sea lions are on the attack. Cut reporter Angel Garcia has what is happening with these aquatic creatures. Angel?
Thank you, Tyler. Sea lions are now attacking people in the waters off the California coast. Due to the toxic algae poisoning these mammals, reports of 6 sea lions have occurred. Phoebe Beltran, a 15-year-old girl in Long Beach, was swimming on March 30th when a sea lion attacked her right arm. Beltran's arm was covered in bites, scratches, and bruises. Thankfully, she didn't require stitches, but shared, quote, I was so scared, so shocked, but I still feel the immense pain on my arms, end quote. Alongside this, on March 21st, a surfer near Oxford was bitten by a sea lion, leaving him shaken to his core. The face of these mammals appeared to be, quote, feral, almost demonic, end quote, according to the surfer. He stated that the sea lion stalked him back to the shore. Not only are sea lions affected, but dolphins are too. When the toxic algae enters the mammals, they lose their minds and do not understand their surroundings. This makes them disoriented with reality, struggling to even exit the water. According to John Warner, CEO of the Marine Mammal Care Center in Los Angeles, the center received around 3,000 to 4,000 calls per year about sick and stranded animals. In the past 5 weeks alone, they have received over 2,000 calls. The center has treated 240 animals as the end of March. However, the center only has the budget to treat 300 animals for an entire year. CEO Warner shared how he feels that this is the center point of the Dominic acid events in the last 4 years. We can only hope that these mammals get the nutrition and medicine they need to be nursed back to health. For the Cut Network, I'm Angel Garcia.
Thank you, Angel. Now, sports anchor Courtney Smith has what went down in sports this week. Courtney?
Thank you, Tyler. What's up, Cut Network? I'm Courtney Smith, and here's what's going on in the world of sports, from March Madness to the pros, and right here at Arizona State. Let's start with March Madness, and it's officially mad. The national championship game went down to the wire, and Florida came out on top. The Gators edged out Houston with a 65-63 in an instant classic, claiming their first title since 2007. Senior guard Walter Clayton Jr. hit the clutch free throws and locked it down defensively to steal the win. Talk about a comeback. Now back here in Tempe, ASU spring sports are making major moves. Baseball is coming off a big win, and softball is dominating Big 12 play, and track and field is stacking up personal bests. Sun Devils are locked into the season on and off the field. And pro sports, the Phoenix Suns are in a fierce battle for playoff positioning. Durant, Booker, and Beal are all turning up the pressure as the NBA season hits its final stretch. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks just opened up their MLB season and are hungry for another playoff run. And in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals have the top pick in this year's NFL draft, and fans are hoping that this is going to be the turnaround they've been waiting for. That's your sports update for this week. I'm Courtney Smith. Forks up and stay locked in with the Cut Network.
Thank you, Courtney. A pair of 100-year-old Galapagos tortoises have welcomed their first babies ever at the Philadelphia Zoo. The 4 hatchlings were born from female mama and male abrazo. They are the first Galapagos tortoises born inside the Philadelphia Zoo in its 150-year history. Although there are no spring chickens, the critically endangered species can live to be over 100 years old and typically start laying eggs after they reach 25 years old. However, it wasn't until 92 years after Mama arrived at the Philadelphia Zoo did they finally start to hatch a clutch of eggs. According to the Philadelphia Zoo, the 4 hatchlings are fortunately eating healthy and are safe away from the public eye right now. But there are more eggs that are going to hatch soon. As Galapagos tortoise populations have dwindled between 20,000 to 15,000 left in the wild, the hatchlings mark a huge milestone in efforts to rebuild their populations.
I mean, better late than never, right? I'm happy for them, honestly.
I know, we can all hope to be as spry as those tortoises at 100 years old.
So true, so true.
Well, thank you for watching The Cut Network. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X @thecut_ASU. Have a nice night.